Hey guys, Billy Jenkins here with Silver Creek Doodles. So if you follow us, we are a breeder of a handful of different type of doodles, mainly golden doodles. Sometimes we have Bernie doodles, sometimes Australian Labradoodles, and sometimes Aussie doodles. So I'm so excited to let you know that this little break of a few months that we just took is about to come to an end. So we still have about 2 months to go until puppies are here, but we just got done breeding a golden doodle for a repeat litter of small minis. We are so excited. At the end of this video, we're gonna show you some of the past puppies from the litter so you get to see kind of what they look like when they are all grown up. But we're also gonna go over the progesterone numbers and stuff. It's not gonna be a long video because we just took kind of a few clips here and there and a picture of mom and dad. One thing I do wanna say too is about the hair color. So right now we've got Lottie and we've got Mac, and you can see they look like apricot tuxedos. So their pictures when they were young adults was Lottie and Mac, and you can see they are much darker. That's what happens when you have non-shedding doodles. The majority of the time, there are some times that you can get a very rare gene in there that lets your dog not fade. But thanks to the poodles, you're never gonna see a dark red poodle majority of the time unless it's a super rare gene that's not testable. So if you're gonna get a non-shedding doodle, you're gonna have their coats go from this to this, and obviously haircuts make a big difference in the shape and all of that stuff. So look at, pictures of dogs as they've grown, and that's what you're gonna kind of see with the puppies. As long as they've got the dark red starting out, you're gonna have that the first year, and then they might fade. This litter is completely non-shedding because of the parents, and we're gonna have no curly puppies. They're all gonna be wavy coated. So I'm very excited just to show these two off. It's not gonna be much of them together, but I'm gonna show you them, show you we got a collection. We did AI, you're gonna see Lottie kind of in the wheelbarrow position. She is the prettiest girl and she is so sweet. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll be back at the end to kind of discuss a little bit more stuff.
Hey, pretty girl. Hey. What do you think, Lottie?
So if you remember previously, Miss Lottie is Dave's daughter, and I just love her so much. So this was a pairing that was absolutely perfect last time. We had all tuxedos in the last litter. I think there might have been one that wasn't a full tuxedo, but I'll throw their picture up right here, and you can just kind of see these gorgeous 6 puppies were perfect. Like, this is the litter that I would absolutely dream for every single time. But there's always a chance of having 25% not carrying a party gene, which shouldn't give them all this white, but maybe just a little bit less. And then there's also a 25% where they could get 2 party genes where they could be the opposite color. So they're base color white and then reverse with some red spotting. Usually when you do have tuxedos, when you do produce those party puppies, they're mostly all white with just a little bit of red instead of a lot of big splotches. But I just cannot wait to see what they produce. I know temperament wise, their size, everything is just what everybody was looking for. So right now with the wait list, and today is April 4th. So all of this testing started on March 30th. So she came into heat, we knew one day. There could have been a couple days before that she had started bleeding, but I'm so grateful that this guardian kind of gave me a heads up. Hey, she's really swollen, she's turning her tail, her blood has, lightened up a little bit. We need to go ahead and test her. And it only been like 5 or 6 days in. So that is here on March 30th, and she's 11.45. So 12 is ovulation. So 12 and above. Now, usually when they start ovulating, I know I've been through this in multiple parts of my different videos of breeding. With my machine, it's totally different from a machine at the vet. When you send that off, a lot of times you have to be above a 5. Well, my machine with serum testing, you have to be above a 12. Now, when they start ovulating, it takes 3 days for eggs to ripen, to open up, to take on the sperm, to actually get pregnant. Now, when you've got live coverage, either AI or natural breeding, that sperm lives inside the female for about a week. So it is kind of cool. I like to wait a few days after ovulation to start my breeding and then breed either 2 days in a row or skip a day in between. And that's just what I have found that works best for me in my program and my girls. So with her being 11.45, I said, let's come back in probably 2 days or so. So we came back April 2nd and she was a 24.58. So my favorite number to start breeding is around 18 to 21. 24, perfect. I'm happy with that. So we went ahead and bred that day, skipped a day, which was yesterday, and then bred again today. And I am just so happy that everything seemed to go really well. Mac isn't a boy that really has bred natural before, so we just collect and then do AI. Side by side is just as good with sperm quality and stuff like that, as long as you kind of let them smell and all of that stuff. So everything went perfect. I am very happy. Now we are gonna put her due date 9 weeks from March 30th. Now it's probably could have been like a day after, but we could go from that being her due date, especially since she was showing so much interest of doing her tail to the side and all of that stuff. So we're gonna have puppies in about 8.5 weeks, and I am so excited, especially for this to be the litter that brings us back into getting into the breeding program with just some stuff. Now, some updates that I'm gonna have is with my website and or how we run our wait list. So with our Aussie Doodles and Bernedoodles and Labradoodles, we only have like 1 or 2 girls. So per breed with those. So those litters normally have their specific wait list. That has worked really well because we really didn't fill up the wait list. We just got a few people. You know, when puppies were born, we advertised that litter. We didn't have to go through the process of the bulk wait list like we do for the Goldendoodles. So I probably need to make this a separate video, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it some. So if you're interested, I can send people to this video to kind of explain what's going on. So we had a bulk wait list of 11 people. So when people had gotten on my list over the last year or so, actually over the last couple years, when COVID started, I had almost 80 families like I get on my list. Is that not crazy? Over the time we were having litters, people would get on the list. I think at that time I did like a pre-deposit of $50 just to get you to hold a spot. And then some people kind of just found other puppies and stuff like that. But you know, we kind of have went out. I've tried not to build a wait list because it is so complicated and hard and stressful for me to make sure I am preparing and doing everything I can to produce for families, especially at that extent. So I really don't do much advertising besides my YouTube videos on here. I post some stuff on Facebook. You're not allowed to advertise on Facebook, so we're not supposed to like put available puppies. We can kind of say what's upcoming just with information, but you can't sell puppies on Facebook or they'll shut your page down. So you have to be careful with that. So this is really my only way of advertising, which, you know, it has done really well for me. I'm not complaining at all because this is where I find 98% of my buyers, and I am so grateful for that. Or my families that are out with their dogs, send them to this, and this is kind of what reassures them that we are breeders. We are doing the right stuff. They get to watch, you know, puppies being born and stuff. So my website is up to date. I'm gonna try to keep on there with advertising and, you know, posting stuff on Facebook and keeping everything up to date and building individual wait lists for my Goldendoodles, because it makes it really hard for our upcoming families to see there's 11 people on the wait list. Do I have a chance of getting a puppy from, you know, these 3 litters or this specific litter and stuff like that? So that's what made me think we need to do individual wait lists. And I'm kind of, this is something that we're just trying to figure out, because we've done this before many, many years ago, probably 5 or 6 or 7 years ago. And it did work good, but my biggest fear, I'm totally a people pleaser, and my biggest fear is, say for instance, if Lottie did not get pregnant and we had her list full and the next 3 lists full that are in the next, 4 months, and that's when families wanted puppies to go home. If Lottie didn't get pregnant, then those next 2 litters aren't exactly choices for those 6 or 7 people on Lottie's list for an upcoming litter. So it's just kind of scary for me, because I do not want to disappoint my families. I want to make everybody very happy. And we just got, look at these dogs back here. I mean, we try to do everything we can to produce dogs that are just as much as I love my dogs, because I do, they're my babies, and I'm so very grateful for them. So take a look at my website. You can see, so the next couple months until we get Lottie's litter done, and then we get Millie and Poppy, those are our next 2 girls that are coming up into heat. We did just have Carol. Carol's in heat right now. We were gonna breed her, but we really don't have, since Carol's bigger, and then we also had Dave to breed with. I've talked to my families on my wait list, and nobody was really interested in those litters over the others, so I had to make the decision that her last litter was last litter, and we're just gonna have to get her fixed after this heat, which makes me so sad, because those were Dave puppies. They all had those gorgeous eyes like her and Dave, and we don't really produce that with our other ones because they don't carry chocolate, which is that liver nose and those real pretty light brown or green eyes. So that's kind of really sad. We skipped Maple's heat. Olive came into heat really early, like a month and a half before she should had, so we went ahead and skipped her too. Darcy was in heat like as soon as our break started, or just a little bit into it, so we skipped her. But our wait list now and our website is up to date. Maple is going to be having her last litter. This will be Poppy's last litter. Who else? So most of our upcoming girls are actually new girls too. So we've got Olive, we got Opal, we got Lily Mae. Joey has not came into heat again, but if we get enough interest in people looking for us to producing more puppies like we had with, Lottie and Joey's, last litter and stuff, we will go ahead and breed her. But otherwise, we do plan to skip her and catch her on the next heat cycle, just because we don't want what happened this last batch where we had litters so close together, and then we had so many available puppies older available puppies, and it just makes it really hard. I want to be very intimate and individual and hands-on, and not juggling so much at one time through our litters. We know Dixie the Bernedoodle, she has a full wait list. She's gonna be coming into heat. Cece the Bernedoodle should. Both of our Aussie Doodles, we skipped their heats. We still had one of Millie's puppies still here when she came into heat again. So we've got planning going on. So take a look at my website. I'm sorry this was long. I'm sure a lot of people might have clicked out by now, but I do appreciate if you have taken time to watch this to the end. Oh my goodness, the weather has, thankfully we got a lot of rain. I don't know if you know, pretty much the bad spots that got hit by Helene here have had all these forest fires and stuff, and we just had a lot of rain the past couple days, so thank the Lord for that. But we have got so much pollen. I would love to be outside filming this, but the pollen is horrible. I mean, it literally, we already like blew off the porch and all of that right before we bred Lottie and Mac, and then now it's already covered again. Like, it is horrible, but we have all these pines around us too. So when the wind is blowing, of course it's warm and gorgeous today, but we're kind of staying inside just because, if I'm gonna be outside, I want the dogs with me, and I don't want them getting any allergies or, bringing all that stuff back in. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any interest in our upcoming litters, let me know. Like I said, the wait list for the next couple months might be a little confusing if people have question marks by their name. Then they actually might even be moved until next year. So it's just hard because we don't want to miss out on a litter that they wanted, but they don't think they can take a puppy home anytime in the near future. So there are 2 on Lottie's litter that has question marks by their name that probably will not get a puppy. So she more than likely will have available puppies, but I just don't want to overbook. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm very excited to get back into this. Now, it being, did I say April 4th? David's birthday is in less than 2 weeks, and we are hoping to do something for him that is very fantastic, like we've done the last 3 years. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them in the description. Go back and watch those videos. So we did a video at the house 2 years ago. The video we did last year, we took him out to a restaurant. We actually might not have had done one the year before, but I'm gonna go ahead and post those down there, so don't forget to check them out. I'm actually gonna have those at the end screen too, so you can just click on them. But I'm so excited to get back into this, and I think I've already told you that like 20 times, so thank you, and I hope to see you very soon. I still have a few puppies that actually had went home that I haven't made their video yet, but I've got to sit down and do it because I've got a lot of footage, so I'm hoping to get that done too. But we'll see you next time. Bye.